About a mile north of mile marker 3 on Highway 9, we've taken the road to Quail Creek Reservoir State Park, headed up the road about a mile, just so that not only can we see the reservoir a little bit, but also the northern flank of the Virgin Anticline that we were talking about. So if you come up here and you look carefully, you can see at the north end of the valley here, the beds are kind of coming up on the east and down to the west. So you can see the full flank of the fold. Um, and in the heart of the anticline here, we're kind of up into the Moenkopi Formation, which kind of has a great story. Anyway, this is one of a few reservoirs in the west. There's another one up in Idaho that failed, right? This one failed in the late 80s. So basically there was a huge dike that was built across. We're going to be looking at it here in a second. Anyway, the replacement. But they built it on this Moenkopi Formation, which has really thick beds of gypsum in it, right? And so right here, there's a huge block of gypsum that we can see, this white rock, right? Gypsum is kind of a water-soluble rock. It kind of falls out of solution in sequence along with limestone and anhydrite. So you get these thick beds of gypsum in these marine layers, and if you get fresh water on them, they'll just start to dissolve, which is what happened to the dike, right? The layers underneath the dike over, I think, a decade and a half or so after the dike was first built, started to dissolve until in the late 80s, there was just these springs that started cut that. Until in the late 80s, the springs that had developed underneath the dike just got larger and larger until one week, basically, they were just a torrent. They knew within a few days before it imploded on itself that it was going to break, so they tried to evacuate everyone out. But half the contents of Quail Creek Reservoir then drained through this valley, right through the core of the Virgin River Anticline, and then took out pretty much every bridge between here and Mesquite, which I can remember going down and looking at the day after. It was quite a sight. It was basically made the Virgin River as big as the Colorado River. But a good geologic lesson for everyone to know your geology, especially if you're an engineer working on a dam, because you don't want to build on a foundation that's going to give out